Something God's been bringing to my mind for the last several days, actually. And it was how we pray, God's will be done, not my will, but your will. And I was asked to help pray for something, and I immediately thought, God, your will be done, not mine, not ours. And I got to thinking, how I'm trying to think even how to put this. Are we really willing to let God's will happen? Even if it's something that we don't expect. Even if it means not the healing. Even if it means that we lose something very precious to us. Even if it means that things just don't go our way. How willing are we to say, God, your will be done? Not my will, but yours. And I've been just thinking about that, and I've had some memories come up onto my memory on Facebook. And I look back and I see how many times I remember saying, God, I don't know what you're going to do with all this, and your will be done. And I remember there have been times that when people would look at where I was, it just didn't seem like, that's what God would have wanted. But the one thing that has been a prominent thing in my life during those times and even now is that I know that even though I was going through those hard times, that God was there to help. He was always there. He never left. As the scripture verse says, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. And it also says, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened to you, ask and it shall be given to you. And yes, I kind of just went all the way around. Sorry, my dog's just like literally laying. She's just laying here. And kind of was a little distracted. But I just thinking about that and thinking, all the things that I've gone through in my life. And how it brought me closer to God. And that, yes, like my shirt says, faith does not make things easy, but it makes things possible. Just because things just don't seem the way that it should be, as the way we think that life should go, does it mean that we're not doing what we're supposed to? The devil comes in and he fights a lot. And it is getting very, very close to the time when he's coming. And I truly believe that Jesus is coming soon. I mean, all the signs are there. And I know we've said 88 reasons Jesus is coming back, and 2000 and 2K, that the world was ending. And then it was 2013 because the Chinese calendar had ended and they hadn't prepared for anything past 2013. And not those is what we're not supposed to look for as signs. It says in the Bible and the different signs that we're supposed to see and say, and it says when you start seeing these signs, start looking up. And I believe we are in those times. And the devil is going to fight so hard because he doesn't want you to make it to heaven. He doesn't want me to make it to heaven. He's going to do everything he can to try to discourage me. He's going to do everything he can try to discourage you. But I'm telling you, our God never leaves nor forsakes. And when we say, God, your will be done, we need to be willing to go through whatever God's going to put us through. Because like the song that just came on, K-Love, and it always makes me tear up thinking about it and just listening to it, because it's like, the blessings. What if blessings come through raindrops? What if blessings comes through pain? And if it means getting closer to God, isn't that worth it? And no, we may not see it during that time. I didn't during the time, but I knew, and I knew that God was there, and I knew God took care of his own, and he always did. And I know even now he takes care of his own. And I think there was a it was a Sunday school paper that our church had not long ago, and I don't know if we still have it because I haven't seen them in a while. But it was a story about a woman, and it was a true story. And she didn't have a home. She basically went from one place to the next, and God provided for her for each place. And people would have thought she was the poorest woman of all, but yet no, she was truly blessed. And she even said one day, she made a comment to somebody in conversation, how God truly blessed her through meeting the different people that she met, and how even though she didn't have a home, he always gave her something for a roof over her head, and that she was truly grateful. And I think of that and I'm thinking, we have a concept of what life should be and how it should go. But what if that's not the way it's supposed to be? Are we truly willing to follow God through whatever it takes? Are we truly willing to go through all the pain that may come our way? Not because of our actions that's made it happen. Yes, there's consequences for sin, and even after we are saved, there are still consequences of that sin that we still have to live with. It doesn't just completely erase. I know it says, our slate is clean, and I get that, but there's a part that I think, let's say you went and smoked all your life, and that doesn't mean you're not going to get something from that, or that you've gone and done things towards people. There's still things that's going to happen, but God's going to be there with you. And I don't know, just these words have been going through my head, because we always pray, God, your will be done, not mine, but yours. And I even pray that way. I'm like, okay, God, not my will, but yours. I don't want my will. I don't want what I want, but I want your will for my life. And then it just got, I don't know, just some things that just came to mind during prayer and things, thinking about how truly do we mean your will, not mine, because it could mean a lot of going down roads that you never expected. But as I look back at the different roads that I've had to take through the process of getting closer to God, sorry, I think I'm getting a cold, but as I've thought of the different places that I have had to go through and different things that were consequences of another's actions, I guess you want to say, it drew me closer to God. And as I look back on that, and even in the memories that came across my Facebook today, and just, it made me cry, because the fact is that I knew God was there with me regardless of what I went through, and that he takes what is bad, or what we think is bad, and make it into good. I look at the different places that I've been in my life, and all the people that I've met, and if I hadn't gone through what I've gone through, I wouldn't have met those people. I would not have been able to be a blessing. They would not have been able to be a blessing to me. And that just thinking about that and all the different things, it's just like, God, it may not look the way we think it should be, but you have a plan. You always have a plan. And so, I don't know, I was just thinking about that, and just thinking about how, are we really truly sure when we say, God, your will be done, not mine? Are we really willing to go through whatever it takes to get closer to God? Because everything has a purpose in what happens in our life. I truly believe it. Everybody that comes in our life, and there's a meme or a thing on Facebook that says, each person's either a blessing or a lesson. Are we willing to go through that? I used to say I regret things, and now looking back, yeah, there were things that I wish I would have changed, but then I get to thinking, where would I be in my life now I mean, would my faith be where it is now? Would I be as close to God as I am now? And I want to get closer to God. I want to, I, I mean, not that I don't feel his presence, and not that, and that sounds like a little bit, I don't know, conceited, and I don't mean it like that. It's just, I know God is through anything, any trouble that we go through, any blessing that comes in our life. And sometimes the troubles bring those blessings. And just thinking, how willing are we to say, God, your will be done, not mine. And just take your hands off and just let God take you wherever he's supposed to take you. I mean, I think of the missionaries, some of them are living worse lives than what we have here. And we complain about what we have. And yet we don't really think about how God is there with us through that time. And I don't want to be ungrateful for the things that I have. Even, yes, I do have dreams, I do have wishes, but I know those will happen in time if it's meant to happen here on this earth. Or, you know what, when I get to heaven, I'm going to have something way above what I have here on earth. And, that's what we're supposed to be thinking about, is our heavenly home, not our earthly home. Yes, we want to have nice things. We want to have things to make things easy, but sometimes life is just not that easy. And we can't say, hey, God's not going to help us through that, or God's not going to be there, because he always is, and he always will be. It's the way we react to things, and the way our perspective in life. So, I don't know. I just wanted to do a video for y'all, and maybe this will bless somebody else. That, just because you're going through something doesn't mean that God cannot use that. Because he always does. There's always a purpose in his plan. And when we stay on the path that we're supposed to stay on, that God sets us on, then, as I have been reminded many, many times, is that we will see the things that we've seen that comes to pass. And we will have God's will in our life as long as we follow God and do exactly what he tells us to do. And that, just like I've said in many other videos, I've talked about how, when God shows us things, and if we don't do it, that's disobedience, and disobedience is sin. So we want to obey immediately, not hesitate. So, I don't know. I hope this blesses somebody today. I've noticed that we've had snow outside, and so I guess winter has arrived, I guess. That means driving a lot more careful when you're out on the road. And I don't know, maybe y'all don't have snow yet, but I don't really like this season just because of the snow, because I am a terrible driver when it comes to snow. But God will help me through it. All right. I hope you all have a blessed day. God bless. And thanks for listening.